We're live. Okay, so the Miracle Morning has sort of brought affirmations back to the forefront of my mind, though it's something that I have worked with for years. In fact, when I was going through some of my classes that I've taught, I have a whole file of them. I found this class that I taught. It says, I originally wrote this class in 2004 for a hotline I was asked to teach by National Sales Director Sandy Miller. I had been a sales director for only a year. I wasn't driving a Cadillac. I was just in the beginning stages of figuring out my role as a leader in Mary Kay. The content of the class has grown and changed, I would say, over the last 13 years. As I have really worked extensively with affirmations, as I've read a lot of books about the power of the subconscious mind, about how God created our subconscious mind to be used as a tool. Like our imagination is a tool for us to use that God created. And we're using like 1/2500th of it. Really, that's possible that can change your life. So if you're relatively new to the idea of what an affirmation is, or you've never worked with them before, I want to just start with the definition. So definition of affirmation is something declared to be true. So it's not really something that at the time is true, but it's something that you're declaring is going to be true. Basically, an affirmation is a statement that you write and record, and then you listen to it every day, where you describe things in your life not as they currently are, but how you want them to be. It's basically a very intentional use of your imagination. It's hot in here now. Can you turn the air down, Jen? Okay. I think they maybe turned it off, do you think? Or just propped the door open. Okay. We talked about this a lot, but your life is moving in the direction of your most predominant thought. So Susan Scott, who is an author who wrote a lot about affirmations, said this: you will bring into your life whatever it is that you have the most clarity about. You will bring into your life whatever it is that you have the most clarity about. The trouble is, most people have a great deal of clarity about what it is they don't want. So guess what they get? You end up getting what you don't want and what you fear. Okay, so nothing is going to determine what will happen in your life and business in the next 6 months more than what you think. Really, if you really think about that. So right now it's April 10th. By October 10th, the thing that's going to determine what happens in your life and business more than any other thing is what you think. If you have total control over what you think, then what if we really harnessed that? What could we do? What if we really shifted the way that you think? So I'm going to give you a word. We're going to play a little game. I'm going to give you a word, and I want you to write your immediate thought when I say that word or statement. Brutally honest, you're not sharing it with anyone. No one else has to see it. Just your first thought when I say that word. Now, for some of you who are newer, you may not know what some of them are. Just skip it if you aren't sure what it is. Okay, the first word would be booking new appointments. The second word would be team building or recruiting, adding new team members. The third word, skincare classes. The fourth word is directorship, so being a sales director. And then the last one is free Mary Kay cars. I'm going to give you a second to just write down your first initial thought. Okay, so when you look at those first initial thoughts, can I ask if you're getting right now what you're thinking about most? Yes? Yes? You're smiling.
Have a good day.
Okay. Are your responses, if you just read them, are most of them based in faith or fear? The two cannot coexist. So you're either living out faith or you're living out fear. You're either living out victory or defeat. But the cool thing is we have total control over those thoughts. But a lot of them are just defaults that you've gone to without even really realizing it. So let's talk for a second about the difference between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. This is a lot of the studying I've done, and I've kind of simplified it into its most very basic form, because there's like really, really like science stuff about this. But okay, so your conscious mind, I always think of it like it's right here. I don't think it really is, but in my mind, it's like right here in the front, because it's like more at the forefront. It's rational and logical, and it's a warehouse for information. So it tells you things like, if you step out into traffic, you're going to get hit by a car. If you touch a stove, you're going to get burned. If you hold a skincare class, you'll sell product and earn money. Like, it's logical and rational, okay? So has anyone in here ever said to yourself, I know what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it, right? Like, I'm not doing it, but I know, I know if I did that it would change, right? Mm-hmm. So probably the reason is that you know in your subconscious mind, right? You know the information, but you haven't made the connection to your subconscious mind, which I say is in the back. It's not really, but just go with me, okay? So there's no connection there. That's why you're not doing what you know you should be doing. So let's talk about the 5 characteristics of the subconscious mind. Okay, number 1, there might be 6. Let's do 6. It doesn't know the difference between truth and make-believe. So your subconscious mind just accepts whatever you feed it as truth. It doesn't know that it's not really true. Okay. Number 2, it does not sleep.
It does not what?
Sleep.
Oh.
It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, always. Your subconscious mind is always going. Number 3, this is critical. It operates in pictures and images. So when you say to yourself, I'm broke, an image of you with no money, or an image of your bank statement, or an image of whatever comes to it appears in your subconscious mind. If you say to yourself, I'm fat, then it creates a picture of you overweight in your subconscious mind. If you say, no one books with me, it sees an empty date book. So it translates your word thoughts into pictures. Okay? So number 4, it is an obedient servant who does exactly what you tell it to do. So whatever images you feed it on a daily basis, it does exactly what you're telling it to do. Because it doesn't know if it's true or not. It's just doing what you do. It's kind of like a computer, right? Like, a computer doesn't know whether what you're doing is true or false. It's just doing what you're telling it to do. Okay. Number 5, it will always prove you right no matter what you tell it. And then number 6, this is critical too. It responds to strong desire and emotion, either positive or negative. So the thing that connects the conscious mind in the front to the subconscious mind in the back is your emotions. And for most of you, you are being ruled by your emotions, not ruling your emotions. And there's a huge difference. Okay? So what you feel is the bridge between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And here's the beauty of that. No one, nothing, no place in anywhere in the world can make you feel anything. No one. You are the only one that can make you feel something. Now, they can do something and you can choose to feel a certain way. Like the student who said the mean thing to Avery about my awesome speech, like he did that, but he didn't make me feel anything, right? I choose how I allow that to make me feel. So I always have a choice of how I allow that to make me feel. All right. Now, so let me go to Mary Kay. If someone calls and cancels a party, she isn't making me feel hurt or disappointed or sad. I'm choosing that response. If I have 4 other parties that week, I probably feel ecstatic because I didn't really want to do all 5 of them anyhow. So I choose either way. So I have control over how I choose to feel, right? Okay, is that cool? Are you following me on that? Now, this is really important. If you're going to train your thoughts by using affirmations, they have to give you a positive emotional response. So whatever is in your affirmations, you have to have a positive emotional response when listening to it if you want it to cross the bridge from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. But all you're doing, how I envision it, you guys, is like I'm putting a thought into a little trolley car, and then there's like a train track that goes to my subconscious mind, and I put the thought in, and then I feel it, and then that's the gas that makes it go to my subconscious mind. And whatever I tell my subconscious mind, it's going to work to make it happen. Like it's just working at it. And things will pop up and show up in front of me. I'll see opportunities that I never would see if I had put a different thought in that same trolley and sent it to my subconscious mind. Okay? So what you think about, you bring about. In Proverbs, it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Mary Kay Ash herself said it this way: you are hourly, daily, mixing together in the whirling mixing vat of your mind the ingredients that will determine the kind of finished product you will become. Like she totally got it. She knew that what you're putting in there is what is determining your outcome. The question you have to ask yourself is, if you're the personal chemist of your own future, are you putting faith, confidence, effort, study, the golden rule into the mix of your life? Or are you blending yesterday's unpleasant experiences, mistakes, failures, thoughts of expecting the worst, attitudes of I can't, feelings of inferiority or inadequacy? Like, what are you mixing in your mind? Because that is what's going to determine your finished product. I have used affirmations actively since about 2001. So I'm going to give you an example. In September of 2002, that's the first one I have like on a computer, which is so crazy, like where I have it saved on a computer, okay? So I found my affirmations from September of 2002. And again, it was a year after I started actively working my business. I had just returned home from seminar for the very first time. So as a consultant, I had just gone to seminar. I had 3 team members. I was teaching full-time high school English, coaching volleyball and basketball. I was in I must have more than 3 team members because I was in qualification for my first Mary Kay car. We had no children. Ryan and I had just been married for a year. Okay. I wrote, I have quit teaching and my business is growing abundantly, more than I ever imagined. So I quit teaching in May of 2005. In May of 2003, there were 38 active consultants in my unit. We finished in 2007 with 93, 155 in 2008, and then it's gone up and up and up and up and up, right? But I was seeing that in my head when that was not the reality. I was nowhere near quitting teaching when I wrote the affirmation, right? But I had to put the thought in there first, okay? Another affirmation. This is in March of 2005, we were working to earn our very first pink Cadillac. We lived in Clifton, tiny little town. And so in March of 2005, we were like maybe doing $6,000 of production a month. And to earn a Cadillac, you need like $16,000. Okay. We were not earning a Cadillac, be clear. So I said, I love opening my garage door every morning to see Amy K3 on the license plates of my pink Cadillac. And I actually borrowed my mom's car, pulled it into the driveway, made a license plate that said that, and took a picture of it so that I could see it. I drive the car with pride through the drive up at the Clifton Bank. Positive emotional image. I loved going there. The people were really nice, and I knew they'd be really excited for me. To the post office, they loved me there too. And I love parking it in front of the community building every week for our meetings. The girls at Curves all cheered for me the first morning I pulled up in it because I am the first pink Cadillac director ever to live in Clifton. Because we stretched to reach that Cadillac level, our unit will never go back to where it was before. In fact, the Cadillac was a springboard to even more amazing things for the next Mary Kay year. Finished qualifying the next year for our very first pink Cadillac, where I parked it in that driveway or in that garage, then our second. And actually this week, I didn't even tell you, we finished qualifying for our 7th pink Cadillac ever. Isn't that amazing? But that whole journey was born in this one paragraph that I wrote in March of 2005 when it was nowhere near my reality. Okay. I have like a million examples just like this, but the reason I feel like affirmations have worked, and this is what I want to challenge you with in listening to yours this week with your miracle morning to wrap up, is that they were visual images that I put into my head that created a positive emotional response that took the image from my conscious mind to my subconscious mind. And so if you want them to work, and they absolutely will 100% work, if you have that connection, you've got to have the imagery and you've got to have the emotion tied to it, for sure. But what you want right now, all that it takes to get from where you are to what you really want in your life right now is a change in your thoughts that you do proactively and consciously and daily. I've been listening to mine since we got home from leadership. It's been 85 days. Started listening at night before I went to bed. So that would have been like January 20th. I listen every night before I fall asleep. Then I wake up now, since I've been doing my miracle morning, I'm listening in the morning again. But I will tell you, since I started listening to those, even in that short amount of time, our unit size has increased by 20. I had a $2,000 increase in my pay from last month over this month. I really, like, crazy things have happened. Part of my affirmations is about new leaders emerging. Things are happening that, like, one of my affirmations is that I go to live career talks and leave with agreements. I just added that like 10 days ago, and I've done 2 career talks in the last 2 weeks and left with agreements filled out. I never did that. But like, all I did was change my affirmation, right? I just changed a little tweak in it. So what I want to say to you is, this is the most important work you do. This is not like a fluke. This is for real. The reason you're unhealthy, that you're overweight, that you're broke, that you're not, is because you're telling yourself that you are day after day after day. That's why you have an image in your head that you can change, but you have to consciously work at it to change it. You have to create a new image, and then your behavior will follow that. It'll just naturally follow. Okay. So more next week. Let's bring your affirmations. We'll look at them. Here's what I'm good at. If you're in my unit, I can't do everybody, but I would love to. But if you're in my unit and you give them to me, I can help you tweak them. I can't write them, but like, once I have something to start with, I'm good with words, so I can like help you kind of form and shape them. But make it the life of your dreams. If you can make it something, why not make it good, right? If you're going to tell yourself a story, tell yourself a good one. So that is all. I'm going to finish my little broadcast. Thanks for listening.